12 miles. Yeah. All right, we just woke up. So let's, hi people.
No.
Let's cut, what? Oh, yeah, she's in distress.
I'm here against my will.
All right, so who are we exactly? Well, we're Christians. All right?
Facts of the matter.
Yeah, facts of the matter. And we're parents, okay? And we homeschool. And we're probably everything a lot of people hate. And last night was very interesting, all right? We sat there and anyway, everybody, before we get too far into talking about last night, let me explain something to you. All my life, I have strived to be a better person, all right? I have learned, I mean, you know, as far as a Christian, I set the bars low probably. But there are certain things that I wanted to accomplish with my children. I have 3 sons, 2 of which are over 20 years old, productive. They're not only do they have full-time jobs, but they're going to college, all right, and they're going to be productive members of society. Now, I have 3 sons. The other one is, how old he?
She's going to be 16.
Going to be 16, right? And I have a daughter. That's a whole nother story. All my life, I've taught them to separate their emotions from reality. And it's hard, especially for a guy. When that adrenaline hits, it feels real, okay? And I've had to step in there and get in my son's face and literally just put myself between him, right? And tell him, look, I know what you're feeling feels real. And the adrenaline, and yeah, it's all real. The testosterone, but it's a lie. It's not the truth, okay? All my life, I have struggled with understanding what the truth is, okay? And separating my emotions from the truth. If you can't do that, okay? If your emotions dictate your reality, you're not a fully developed human being, all right? If your argument can't stand up to a discussion, then you're not a fully developed person. Last night was funny because it was on display. Trump and Elon Musk had a discussion. It was not an interview. The far left and the media, this is how crazy it is. They can't understand a discussion that's not hostile, and it was just that, a discussion. It was not an interview. There were no questions asked. It was 2 fellers talking. They tried to censor it. They tried to block it. They attacked his website with whatever fungus is, so it started late. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Whenever you enter into a discussion, you have to enter the discussion with the possibility of accepting that you're wrong. And that's what people have a hard time with, because their emotions tell them they're right. All right? You have to enter a discussion like I entered marriage and raising children. You have to enter it knowing that, well, to begin with, I'm a Christian, so I'm in charge of the house. All right? This is my canoe. All right? I make the decisions. But I have to be able to justify my decisions with a conversation with my wife. There's a lot of times she'll prove me wrong, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let's do it that way, okay? If we come to an impasse, we're doing it my way. But it's the same thing. You have to enter every conversation with the possibility you might be wrong, and you might need to make a compromise. If you can't do that, you're not a grown-up. Censorship is a tool for an immature person who knows they're telling a lie and can't defend their position. And as a Christian, I try hard not to do that.
It's like those women that you see on those interviews that the guy is pro-abolition of abortion, and girls come up to talk to them, and they'll give him fact after fact after fact after fact, and in the end, what you get is, I don't care if it's alive or not. I'm doing whatever I want.
Yeah, what do they
And
call it? My truth or something?
yeah, says their truth,
Oh.
and it's your truth, and all of this stuff, and but that's it. You have to be able to, when you go into a conversation with anybody, you have to be able to say, uh, I'm open to have my mind changed.
Yeah.
And,
Or, you know what? You're right.
Nobody does that. It expands everywhere from religion, education, to politics. It's my way or the highway, and unfortunately, believe it or not, it's rampant everywhere
Yeah.
in churches and your political arena, science, all of them. Very seldom do you hear someone, well, I did further research and I changed my mind. And that is okay. You can change your mind. That does not make someone a
Yeah.
weak human being. It just makes you a reasonable human being that can have further facts put forward to them and be able to say, okay, I changed my mind. Simple example: David in the Bible.
Mhm.
For decades and decades, we people wonder whether he was even real, a real king. Did he even exist? Was David anybody? Now I can see how you would doubt and have some doubts about it. 50 years later, here we are with a lot more research, a lot more archaeological discoveries, and now we're not discussing whether David was real or not, but we're discussing how big his kingdom might have been.
Correct.
Okay? So you have, sometimes it's just someone else has different facts that you do, and so you need to be able to change your mind. Abortion. We didn't have the technology today that we have now. We have the knowledge now that life starts literally the moment
Conception.
the conception. Okay, fertilization, it starts life. We know that when he develops, we know they have the test to know that the fetus at 12 weeks can feel pain and all of this stuff and all of this. So times of ignorance are no longer acceptable because you know that. So it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to, because the more we grow as human beings, as a humanity in general, the more we know things. But and we also need to be able to know that we can change our mind, and so
Yeah.
that's just maturity, friends.
It's you have to see past the catchphrase. These catchphrases are engineered to be used as a talking point, but there's no substance to it. For the ladies out there, my body, my choice. Absolutely, I could not agree more. But your choice is before you have sex, okay? Moments before you do this. Sex is a wonderful thing. It's meant for marriage. If you can't wait till marriage, I'm not going to judge you. But if you can't control your own body, if you're not mature enough to either be on birth control or to make the young fella put a condom on, all right, that's your choice. Either to protect your body from getting pregnant and, but might I say, getting a disease, all right? If you're not mature enough to make that decision, you need to go back to your mama's house, okay? Because you're not done cooking yet.
Yep.
It is your body and it is your choice, and it's a wonderful choice. But murdering a child is never an option. All right? And there are women out there who have fallen into the feminist trap. It's a lie. All right? And these catchphrases you truly believe and you can't see past it. That's why an open dialogue, an open discussion, and now I'm getting to the big point, an honest education. Our schools are broken. They don't teach anybody anything. I read this article yesterday. I can't remember what her name was, and it's such a common name too. But she's in charge of the schools in Chicago. Test scores are not a way to evaluate a child. Test scores have a base. The reason why she said was because test scores are rooted in white slavery or slavery of some kind. And that's not the truth. You have failed as an educator. Your teachers have failed to educate children. If you can't educate a willing child, you have failed. So you're covering your own, and this is the whole thing. You always fall back on racism to cover your ass.
Yeah.
Now, look, it's common sense, people. You hire the most qualified candidate, right? You don't pass over. When I was interviewing for people to hire, I didn't pass over 15 people who were highly trained and educated just for this job to hire somebody from the Rainbow Coalition. Now, if the Rainbow Coalition was my best candidate, I'm hiring it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's the problem we're having with the education. We are sending children to college to study feel-good things. They're not prepared for society. They get out of college and they assume they're going to get a great job and they can afford everything their parents had right now. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go check them. She's
agree.
cooking bacon.
I'm cooking bacon, y'all.
But right now, I mean, we are at the precipice, all right? It is time for people to grow up. Now, I personally do not like Donald Trump, but I'm going to vote for him, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to vote for him. We have a proven track record. Everything was measurably better under Donald Trump. And if you don't understand what happened on day one of the administration, okay, for years and years and years, the whole liberal talking point was Trump sucky suck, which I thought was the most childish and immature argument in the world. But it's worked. Educated people literally believe this nonsense, okay? On day one, Joe Biden stopped drilling and we started buying oil. Now, I can't remember what it was. It's like $30 billion to Iran, which is a terrorist state. They, in turn, financed Hamas and Hezbollah. Now we have a war on terror over there, all right? This was a direct consequence of what Joe Biden did on day one. Trump was a good president. He did a lot of good things. You need to be mature enough to understand that I don't like the guy, but he was a good president, okay? And the fact of the matter is, we have people out here in society, grown, mature people, and all they have is racism and hate. And where does it come from? Do you ever see Republicans preaching racism and hate? No, you don't. Where does racism and hate come from? Well, it comes from the Democratic side. Now, there's only one party. Y'all need to understand that, okay? There's no Democratic Party and no Republican Party, just in name only. It's a uniparty. Both sides have the same goal. They want to control everything and they want to do away with the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, for those of you that don't know, it protects everybody's right. Even you people on the far left out there protesting queers for Palestine and women for the burqa, this gives you the right to do that. Without the Bill of Rights, you don't have the right to do that. The reason that I lean towards the right or the Republican Party is strictly because they're going slower. Now, I'm a conservative. That doesn't mean I'm a Republican. It means I have conservative values. There are dictionaries. You should look up what the term means, all right? Conservative doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean I hate anybody. I love everybody, okay? I'm commanded to by my God.
Yeah, we're not allowed to hate.
Yeah, we're not allowed to hate, okay? Now, it's also my responsibility to point out when you are living your life immorally. Now, you might not agree with that, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just, what I'm telling you. I'm trying to help you. I'm not mad at you. I do not hate you. If you live next door to me, we will be friends, right? But that's the whole difference here is you have people out there that can't reason anymore, all right? If someone disagrees with you, it's hate speech. Look at England. I mean, they're arresting people for retweeting or whatever you call it, funny memes, right? These people are going to jail. And they're letting a man out that raped a 12-year-old girl. He served less time in jail than a guy who did an offensive meme.
Yeah, you need to be
right?
I mean, honestly, your Bill of Rights is the only thing standing between you, your freedoms, and these people taking utterly complete power over everything we do. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, those things will be gone.
Look, you can like anybody you want to like. If you want to like Kamala Harris, you can like her. But you can't vote for a party that has no platform. Go to her website, she's saying nothing, all right? She's running for president on the pretense that, look at me, I'm black. That's it. And I'm woke. All right, there's absolutely nothing on her channel or her page that tells you what she's standing for. I can absolutely tell you she was the vote that, what did they call that? The something or other vote that allowed the government to tax the tips. She was the deciding vote as vice president. She went in and she voted, and that became law to tax. So now, are you going to believe how she voted or something she said? Because she voted to tax your tips. I don't understand how you can mistake that.
It is literally biblical, friends. You'll know them by their fruits. Okay? They can lie all they want. They can say
it's
all
like
you want.
White stuff, huh?
Yeah, you can vote by their fruit.
Yeah.
Seriously. She will talk and will tell you exactly what you want to hear, but you have to look at the fruit of her life. And like he said, say for every senator, every congressman, anybody out there, the time for misinformation, the time for ignorance is over.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're on on the other side of one of these screens, you have a computer. Okay, you have enough a mindset to figure out how to log on to YouTube, how to do all this stuff. You have the same tools that we have to do research to inform yourself properly, so that nobody can lie to you. Okay, I told this to my kids the other day about their rooms. I said, with great privilege comes great responsibility.
That's how you get a 21-year-old to clean his room.
So our privilege is the ability to turn on a computer, have free access to the internet. Not everybody in the world has that, guys.
Correct.
Friends, not everybody. Free access to the internet, and do your own research and change your own mind. You don't want no one else to change your mind? You don't want to hear to anybody else's facts? Change your own mind. Figure it out.
The thing that gets me is you get these college kids and they look at the Republican Party, right? Here's how stupid, I'm sorry, not stupid. Here's how uninformed they are, okay? They use the same argument. I'm going to college, I'm smart. And the 1% is Republicans, and that's farthest from, that could not be more wrong. The absolute truth of the matter is, when you look at the privileged people, they're almost unanimously Democrats, with very few exceptions. And if you really want to look at it, you can look at the size of the contributions that go to the Democratic Party. Now, the Republican Party is $5, $10, $15, $20. That's their bet. That's their bread and butter. That is what they get. Okay, now you look at the Democratic Party and their donations, it's thousands of dollars at a time. That shows you that the elites are Democrats.
Yeah,
All
they're the
right?
ones. Now, like I said, research. Why do they want to be in power? Why do they all this stuff? Because, like I said, and they all have. I'm not gonna say that every rich person in the world is compromised,
No,
but
vast majority, I would say. Yeah.
yes, and in order to gain a lot of wealth like that, sometimes, a lot of the time, they probably had to compromise values and things like that, and so it makes you wonder what they're hiding. If they let you see this kind of some of the stuff that they promote, like minor attracted people
Oh my
and things
God.
like that. Sorry, if they let you see that, if they let you
Yep.
know that they are okay with that, what are they hiding,
But
friends?
here's a fact for you. Okay, Kamala Harris put more black men in jail when she was the district attorney in California, right? She put more black men in jail, not for hard crimes, but for just smoking marijuana. At the same time, she admitted to smoking marijuana and laughing about it. My God. I mean, this is part of the record. You can look at it. This woman has done nothing for anybody. I believe it was 160 bills she threw on the table when she was in the Senate for California. Not one of them passed. In other words, she spent 4 or 6 years there and did absolutely nothing. Right? I mean, you look at what she has done as president. She was border czar, drug czar, all these good things. She's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are facts that you can look up. It's not hate speech, it's the truth.
And I mean, what they're doing right now is they're cleaning up her image.
Oh, trying to, yeah.
They're trying to scrub her clean, show her as a proper candidate. And the only thing that I can say is, don't be fooled by that.
Yeah.
She's not.
But
she's not.
Just look at the anger coming from the mainstream media. I call this the mainstream media, or what do they call themselves? The legacy media. Yeah, this is their last stance, guys. All right, we're about ready to push the door shut on these people. You cannot have truth when one side controls the news, or what, and news is just noteworthy events, weather, and sports. Who decides what that is? Well, whoever the advertisers are that are paying for it. It's not just because a reporter says it, it's not true. I love this, right? Our sources. That means they made it up. You understand? There's no evidence. That's because they control the Justice Department and they're not going to look into it. Those are just two phrases. Whenever you hear them, you know they're lying.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Oh, but anyway, like I said, look, I'll tell you one. I was wrong once. Not, yeah, I was wrong a bunch of times. I was wrong on George Bush Jr. Let's call him Jr. I had met his father when I was in the service. So when George Bush Jr. was running, I was like, well, I liked his father. He's probably just like, no, he wasn't nothing like his daddy. All right? He took us to a war for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, and I was really wrong with him. But then again, he was running against Al Gore that one time.
There was not a choice.
Yeah, not really much of a choice there, right? But anyway, people, I think it's time that everybody learns to grow up a little bit and learn that it's okay to vote for someone you don't like as a person, but we're voting for what's good for America. How did John F. Kennedy say, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country? Well, what you can do for your country is to elect a grown-up, one who has a proven record of making things better. It's just that simple.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, take her home, baby.
I don't know, guys. Be realistic, though. Donald Trump is different. He's
Monotone voice,
but he's
oh.
a little boring. But
Uh-huh.
look, he's not your savior, okay?
Nope.
You always have to remember who's in charge.
But he does honestly. He's honestly a
Seems to
Christian.
me
I
that he
believe
wants-
that with
yeah.
all my heart. And he honestly is fighting for the American people, even the American people that will take a shot at him.
Remember, I mean, God works through flawed people.
Right. And it's like, everybody says, well, what has Donald Trump done for democracy? Well, he took a bullet. I'm like, yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny. Anyway, God bless.
God bless.
All right. Bye-bye. Where'd the button? Oh,
Right
down
there.